Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. In line with the cry for help by Nigerians, the son of the president, Sheyi Tinubu, as well as his sister, Alhaja Folashade Tinubu Ojo, has moved on to say, with the growing rate of hardship, poverty, and the groaning of the people, the struggle to survive gets worse as the unemployment rate increases significantly. The hardship has also stopped students from attending lectures as they can barely afford basic things as well as to transport themselves to classes. The students have complained of the high cost of food items, high tuition fees, and generally the high cost of living, which has led most students to have poor academic performances. In line with the cry for help by Nigerians, the son of the president, Sheyi Tinubu, as well as his sister, Alhaja Folashade Tinubu Ojo, has asked Nigerians to be patient with the president and endure the trying time, adding that enduring the trying time was necessary for Nigeria to have a better future. We still have with us in the studio Mr. Lawal Ekundaya. These statements by the children of the president, how do you perceive that?
There's a proverb in Yoruba. Maybe I will have to interpret it in English. It says, Tani eleshin magbe biko se legbo.
Sorry again.
Tani eleshin eshinshin na flies.
Just say it, yeah.
Tani eleshin magbe biko se legbo.
Okay.
So people are telling us in the studio right now.
Exactly.
We're being sold.
All right. So please do interpretation.
Eleshin
I know
flies.
Igbo is wound.
So okay. Who will the flies support if not the person that has wound, because he wants to leave the wound now, so it will always support the person with a wound.
Okay.
That's it. So
let's put that in context.
Yes, it's so simple now. They will always support their father. Now who will they support in the first place? Support me. Yeah, that's what is going. So I don't know why we are dragging.
Is it really them supporting their father, or them knowing that people are attacking their father, so to say, being the president of Nigeria, and they are lending their own hands to say, we all are going through this, we all are suffering in Nigeria, so let's endure until we know that
they should come and tell us. They should tell Nigerians how much is their own take home every month. The president should come and tell Nigerians his own take home every month, where he lives. You get it? Maybe he lives in Ajegule. You should come and tell us whether he lives in 1 room or 1.5 room, or whether he's let's see whether the daughter of the president, you get it, take home every month.
Well, let's about
this is our issue, because if somebody who is paying 30,000,
let me ask you this question. You know, there's been the talk about Nigerians not being patient enough. Things that took time to be spoiled, we need time to fix. You know, we've had that conversation go on and on with you know, some APC stalwarts also saying, look, this isn't fair. Nigerians are expecting too much. The president is working. Be patient with the president, and things will work in the long run. Now, but the question I want to ask is, from your perspective, are there things that would have been put in place so that we will not see the economic effects of subsidy removal and every other thing that Nigerians are hardship. Okay, that Nigerians are going through. It's hardship is part of the effect of the policies.
It's hard. Sounds hard.
Policies of the government. Do you think there are things that should have been put in place beforehand so that Nigerians will not feel this impact, as against saying, look, tighten your belts, things will be better, but these are the policies that we have for now?
That's it.
I'm asking, what are those things that would have been put in place?
One, that's why I said, we all know, you get, you are here now, you are not even contesting for now. In 5 years, if you are contesting, will they be telling you the problem of Nigeria? Will somebody be telling you, or you sit down in the office and you not know the problem of Nigeria? Of course you know, because you live in Nigeria, you have been feeling it, you all feel it. So nobody can come and tell me that somebody did not know what is going on outside in Nigeria. when you are coming on board, you already know the problem, and the problem is not fixed, and you are saying that Nigerians are complaining. What's the meaning of that? Like we said earlier on, I will not stop saying this. You get it? Macron, returned the subsidy because he put the policy in place. People complained massively about it. In fact, there was a protest, and he reversed it because he was listening. You get, he is also a president, and he was listening. So when we already know the problem, like we said earlier on, the purpose for the subsidy, you're supposed to take care of that purpose. The subsidy came to solve. You're supposed to take care of it so that the subsidy payment will not become irrelevant. Are you with me? They are paying subsidy. The first thing is to put in place what the subsidy was solving, or what the subsidy is solving, before you now remove the subsidy. When you put that thing in place, the subsidy becomes itself, to the face of everybody, obsolete. You get it? You now say there's no point paying subsidy because this was the reason for the subsidy in the first place, and now it is irrelevant.
All right, now we see that unemployment rate has increased. Unemployment rate has increased. Companies around the world are downsizing. It's not peculiar to Nigeria, but bringing it home now to Nigeria, should we blame the policies of government for, let me borrow your word now, economic hardship that companies are having to experience, most of it due to removal of subsidy and the rest of it? Are there other sources of energy that Nigeria should consider instead of focusing on what we've always worked with in providing power? Because I talk about power because where power is available, production can easily take place. That's why I talk about power. But then that in itself, if production is taking place, then employment will go around. More people will have jobs to do. But now, if that is provided, should we start looking at importation of or broadening the energy sector in such a way that alternative sources of energy would be easily accessible, easily available to every Nigerian and every company in Nigeria?
Let me correct. Let me use the word correct. Yes, I'll prefer to. Let me just
correct what exactly?
The statement you said that there's economic the companies in the world are downsizing.
No, you're not correcting. You're giving your own opinion.
Okay, thank you.
Because it's a fact that companies are downsizing.
Okay, it's a fact that companies are downsizing. But do you know that each time America goes to war, why are you laughing at? Do you know that each time America goes to war, you get it? Some people are massively employed. In fact, some the money flows into America like crazy. You don't know that? Is it because America goes to war, they are losing? American companies make the equipment. They make the war equipment. But
do you know that companies are downsizing around the world? Do you agree?
See, what I'm trying to say is that...
No. I understand. But do you agree that companies...
Some are downsizing and others are taking them on. That's what I want you to know. Okay. You get? When they say Microsoft downsize, you see that another company is already floating that is taking over. They are already employing them. You see, you have Facebook downsize. You see Twitter, expanding. If you see you see TikTok taking over. You see the way because you know why? Because the government, the system is designed. The system is designed to cushion itself. The system is designed their own system is designed to cushion itself. If one is losing, the other is taking over. You remember the war between Trump and China? China had to sign an agreement to buy more of pig meat from pork meat from America, worth billions of naira. Billions. So now, what do you think will happen to many businessmen in America? They'll start employing people to go into pork meat processing. You see, so if you are downsizing in one area, another one is taking over. That is the way their system works. Because Here in Nigeria, it's not like that. You get it? It's not like that.
Okay.
If look at, you are talking about power. Even if there's power.
You know, you said something earlier that you have been talking. You have been talking and talking and talking. But I'm glad that someone else is here to, you know, to also talk to us this morning. Mr. John, good morning. We have Mr. John Akerele here on the show with us. We have been talking about a lot. The fact that the former House of Rep member, Dr. Usman, said that the president did not possibly make proper plan before the removal of fuel subsidy. And now we have come down to the president's children telling Nigerians that they should exercise patience, that Nigeria will definitely get better. So we want to hear your thoughts on all of these things.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning to you. Good morning to all of our viewers all over the globe. I think what the children of the president are doing is just that they are trying to protect their own heritage. Why? Because it's their turn, just like their father said. And so they are just trying to safeguard their own portion of the national cake. But all of us will agree that the last 9 months, you know, from May, that the president has been sworn in, has been held from Nigeria, and have been moved from frying pan to fire. All of the governmental policies, just mention to me one that you can say that is really effective and is giving the dividends of democracy. Now, if things are not working, and when you hear people like us talk on this forum, it's not because we hate Bola Ahmed Tinubu so badly, but because the hardship and the reality on ground is biting. Even the rich is crying. And if the rich is crying in Nigeria, that will show to you that the poor are dead. And that's why there's no aspect of Nigeria economy that is working. Be it health, there's a problem there. You can hear about the issue of nurses going on strike. Be it medical, you have doctors who are, you know, migrating in their droves to other countries where they have better welfare packages for themselves and for their experiences. If you talk about security, the northern part of Nigeria, you know, is a bunch of hell. And even coming down to the south and the southeast, south, you are hearing of cases of abduction, kidnapping, and all of you. Now, when it comes to the issue of education, so what is it that has been working in the last 9 months? None, not even one. And if you now go to our inflation rate, we're about 29.9% now. That shows to you that that was not where we used to be. And if you look at the exchange rate of Naira, as of this morning, is about 1,600. And that will tell you that, you know, nothing that you can say to me that is working. But then the children that will say that, but what I think they should do is Nigerians want to see practical steps. Nigeria want to see that, oh, if you are saying that we should hold on for how long? Don't forget, as Nigerians, we have been holding on for so long, just like Major Fajek said in his song. We've been holding on for too long. And that too long, you know, when people lose their breath, then you know that they have nothing to lose again, because the man whose back is on the floor fears no fall again. And that is the stage where Nigerians are now. The hardship is really looking at them in the face, coupled with the fact that even the weather condition in Nigeria now is extremely harsh, and then they have said to you that you expect more. So you look at it, nothing is really, you know, working on the side of Nigerians. Be it weather is against us, being government policies is against us, being our political leaders too, they are against us. So what you have to do now is that the leadership should understand that people want to see practical steps and strategy that will show that indeed this pain that we are going through is just for a little while.
Well, you mentioned that Nigeria is hot right now. And on a lighter note, someone mentioned that inside is hot and outside is expensive. But it rained today in Lagos, so we are glad about that. Fuel subsidy was removed a few months ago, and then, but the government released, they were accountable, showed us that they had made, I think, 3-point-something billion naira. But then, we have not heard anything since then. It's 9 months in power, and we don't even know how much has been realized from the removal of the fuel subsidy. Is it that Nigerians are impatient, or are we not supposed to have answers to these questions?
Thank you very much for that question. And that is why when I hear some people who have the ideology that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, is like a renowned MKO Abiola, I hope they will go and listen to the footages of MKO Abiola, of blessed memory, Bashorun himself, who, you know, spoke about his stand on IMF, spoke about his stand on NNPC and the secrecy that's embedded in it. And it's so sad that over 30 years after Bashorun, MQ Kashimawo, Moshood Abiola, said that statement, we are still finding that same problem, even 30 years after. That will say to you, the issue of secrecy is still happening. Now, if I ask you, how much do we sell our crude oil on international scale? You don't know. How many barrels are we producing as a nation? We don't know. How many barrels are we selling per day? We don't know. How much comes into the purse of the Federation a day from the crude oil, from sales of crude oil? We don't know. How much is remaining? We don't even know anything. And then that is why I say to you that when Tinubu came on board, I expected that all of this secrecy will be transparent and Nigerians will see. See, if you go to some countries of the world that they also have oil, you look at how they do all of their things. In fact, from the screen, from the tap of your phone, you can get to know how the number of barrels of crude oil that was produced that very day and the number of barrels that was sold. What is their company? It is there for you to get. But in the case of Nigeria, we don't know. We keep talking about cabals. Are these cabals ghosts? Are they not breathing? And so the question we should ask ourselves is, if truly you are the president and you have promised Nigeria that you're going to see, you have taken away subsidy, fine. So if you have the guts to take away subsidy, I think you should have the guts to be transparent as far as NNPC dealings is concerned. So that Nigerians will know, oh, this is how much we have made, this is what is left, this is what we have used this amount for. And then if that is, that transparency and accountability is there, you see that the shouting of Nigerians will come down a bit. But in a case where they only hear about the money, they don't know how the money is expended, they don't know where the money is going to, and they cannot even feel the impact, on their day-to-day activities. And then you tell me that they should keep quiet. They won't keep quiet. And rather than keeping quiet, you hear more noise in different forms. I think it's happening in Ibadan right now, and I think other part of the country will also start their own too. So I think the government should look at it and then find a way to be more transparent, to be more accountable, and more importantly, to be more responsible, just like the other counterparts in the Senate clans on that part of the world.
Okay, and Mr. John, looking at the statistic or the percentage of the Nigerians who are unemployed, according to what NBS gave us, I'm talking about now in quote, the post-secondary education Nigerians, people who have actually passed secondary school and they are unemployed, they said it's like 7.8%. And then bringing it back to what we're discussing today, where Nigerian students no longer, according to what some lecturers said, they say they no longer partake in the regular education, in the regular classes due to hardship, high cost of transportation to get to school and so many other things. And then the president also come up to tell us something about the loan, education loan for students and all that. Now, where do you think that this particular issue happening now leave Nigerian youths? As regards what we're battling, we have insecurity happening in Nigeria, it's beginning to top up and all that. And we know that they say that an idle mind is a devil's workshop, let's put it that way. And we found out that even the people who are managed to pass secondary school are not even employed, like 7.8% of them are not even employed. And those who are even employed are the people who took it upon themselves, self-employed youth, maybe those that went into agriculture, some of them also, those who are doing all this entrepreneurial thing, according to the principle of Said. Where do you think you're going from this? Knowing fully well that youths actually are the firebrands, or they are the backbone of every economy or every country.
Thank you very much. I think personally, I am disappointed in the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. I am personally disappointed because so much is expected from this administration. I would have expected a Bola Ahmed administration to, look at the whole unemployment spectrum in Nigeria and ask that question. Can we now have segregation into segments and sections? How many of these people are secondary school leavers? How many of them are university graduates? How many of them pass through the technical school? And then can we start, looking at different sectors and industries where all of these people can be placed? Combating unemployment for me is not something that is so difficult. If you have said that you want to revamp your agricultural sector, there are so many people that the agricultural sector alone can take over. And if you're even looking at the value chain and processing that is embedded in the agricultural sector, you see that all of these people who are semi-skilled, who are semi-educated, they have their own space in the spectrum in the value chain of processing. They have where they fit in. Some of them can be machine operators, all right? You don't need to have, this kind of textbook knowledge, because in the factory, you need more of experiential knowledge. Do you understand? And you can get that through technical skills. So the question is, what is the position of our technical schools in the country today? I would have expected that the president will sit down and have a holistic approach to our educational spectrum as a whole. Let me ask you, if you look at it, there are some courses that we are doing in Nigeria today, and then if you go back to the curriculum is as outdated as at 1960, and we are in 2024. That's to tell you that educationally, we're even backward. In terms of our curriculum, we are not there. And so in terms of research and development, we are not there. And so a responsive government, I expect that they would have put all of this infrastructure in place so that when people come from their secondary school, even when you cannot go to the university, you have a place to fall in. Either you fall into the technical school, all right, or you fall into the internship spectrum where you can learn skills. On technical experience can be gathered over 3 to 4 years, or 5 years, or 6 years. If somebody can go to university to study a degree for 7 years, you can go to your own technical school where you have experiential knowledge and study for 5 years. Another 5 years, you can be certified to be a very good machine operator. Why? Because the 5 years of your life, you have been operating that machine as a course of study. And that is how you can, bring about that industrialization. So for me, it still shows to you the cluelessness of this government. And it will shock you that when this unemployment goes on the increase, it will consume even the rich and mighty. And by that time, I hope it won't be too late for Nigeria.
Looking at the education, the way you just mentioned it, people who will be going to technical school and all that, we know that the government have been trying as much as they can to make sure that they take out the parallel line, let me put it that way, whereby we place the university graduates and the people that went to college for education and all that. If you come out with your certificate and you want to get a job, find out that some people will actually tend to, look down on people, even in the civil service sector. You know that even in the civil service sector, some people in some organization, if you want to get to a certain level, they'll tell you to go back to school. Go back and get a particular, maybe go for masters before you can be able to be, in this level and in dot. And, what do you think we have to do to make sure that that marginalization actually is out when we're talking about having a certificate as Nigerians?
This is the problem, and the government created this system so that you and I can start thinking like that. Why is it that some of our students who are in Nigeria, after migrating out of Nigeria, is not the course of study that they studied in Nigeria? That's what they used to work in other countries that they have migrated to. What happens in that space? They have to tell you that the system was created for us to feel if you have a certificate in this, then you are a professional. Even when it comes to the theoretical aspects, you don't know anything. An average microbiology student in Nigeria who is studying microbiology for 4 years in the university might not have even touched or even viewed anything from the microscope for once in 4 years. And he graduates, he has a degree, a certificate from university, says BSc in microbiology. But this is somebody that cannot even perform a spectrum test. This is somebody that cannot even do ordinary to collect blood sample and do malaria. He cannot even do that. And he says he's having a degree. So what I'm saying to you is, let's shift away from this idea of I'm an OND. No. If the system is working, everybody knows their place. There is a place where you are an accountant, you fit in. You're in the banking hall. If you have studied agricultural extension, you should be in the agricultural sector where it's working. But it's only in Nigeria you see somebody who has studied agricultural sciences, because the farm is not a place to go. You find him in the banking hall, and that is the abnormality that is happening. And it does not work that way. How can you say you have somebody who has studied engineering in the medical sphere, and you say that kind of person should give you injection? He will give you killer injection, and it's going to kill you. And that is the system we have found ourselves as a people. So we must first accept the fact that in terms of governmental infrastructure and policies, we have failed. In terms of curriculum development in the educational system, we have failed. In terms of perception and how we perceive people based on their degree and certificates, we have failed as a people. And as at this point in time, we should start changing that mindset. It does not really matter. The first thing the government should do is have a good database. Let's even know how many of us are Nigerians. Let's know how many of us are educated. Let's know how many of us are secondary school leavers. Let's know how many of us are retirees. Let's know how many of us are under 20. Let's know how many of us have skilled handwork. Let's know how many of us are unskilled. Let's know how many of us are technical student graduates. Let's know these numbers. It's when you know these numbers, you can start bringing up policies in place. In a case where you don't even know, if you have the governor of your state now how many unemployed do you have in Lagos State? He cannot give you a figure because he does not know. There's no data for it.
That's why
how many people live in
collection is
Lagos?
very
They tell you
important, right?
about 200 million. He doesn't know. And so the first thing we should do is a working system. You connect all of these dots together. So let me give you a clear example of what I'm saying. So let's take, for instance, you move to Lagos, and getting to Lagos, you want to get an apartment. The first thing they ask you to get an apartment is, where is your residence card to show that you reside in Lagos? Now, you don't have that. You cannot get an apartment in Lagos until you have that card. Where do you get that card from? You get that card from your city. That's from your local government, to show that, oh, I'm in this local government. I just moved into this local government. And once they give that to you, they can then give you to the agent to give you a house, an apartment. That address is given back to your local government. And then you want to get a job also, it will have to come to the local government. So in that case, there is a contact tracing. Not that anybody just, the number of people that comes to Lagos, you don't know. The number that go out of Lagos, you don't know. And these are things that any government that is serious, data collection is the number one thing I think they need to do. And that takes you to your sensor. But in the case of Nigeria, I don't think we ever have sensors at all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. John, for that.
Thank you so much, Mr. John. We're going to take reactions from YouTube. Right. This one is from Mr. Ola Adewale. He says, citizens, good morning to you guys in the studio. Citizens are dishing out solutions to the problems facing the country, and the career politicians remains adamant. What then can we do? Moving on, he also says, how do we fend off the big elephant in the room, corruption? Are there solutions to the economic woes facing Nigeria? Absolutely. But will the solutions work without knocking out corruption first? He also says, does the government know they are putting the cart before the horse in an attempt to solving the problems facing Nigeria? If yes, then do the turnaround and count your losses. He also says, has calamity descended on Nigeria when the people are crying for hunger? Mr. Ola Adewale also says, we do business with the kids, and they can talk until the car come home because they are not relevant to this matter. Yeah, okay. I think he's talking about the president's children. Yes, saying that we don't do business with the children. It's the father that's the president that we know. Yes. Moving on, he also says solutions are at their fingertips, but do not have the zeal and the will to act. Very sad. Companies downsize all the time, and new ones spring up, and that is the nature of businesses. As long as they are not speaking for their father, they are free to express opinions, period. But will Nigerians listen to the golden children? Heck on. Okay? And this last one says, Nigerians, please be mindful of your mental health, because the career politicians are not worth dying for this period. And okay, he wrote this in Yoruba, so I'd rather let it be. Yeah. So that's the reactions from our YouTube page.
You don't want to try?
No, I don't want to try. I don't want some people to laugh at me. I don't want to try. So that's it from our YouTube page this morning.
All right then.
Mr. Lawal, so can we have your concluding thoughts, please?
Yes, my concluding thought is that the government should be more responsible, proactive. We should backtrack, see where they are missing it, and then try to put things in the Nigerians are asking for accountability. That if you have accountability, we have data, then all of us will be able to work together. We can give advice based on what we have. But if the government is being secretive, how can we give advice on what we don't know? Yeah. So they are asking for that. And another thing, the bedrock of a nation is security. After security, you talk about food, which is agriculture, then you talk about education. You get? So the government must be proactive in the area of insecurity. The moment you fix insecurity, like our former the speaker said, the sectors, you have sections in the sector that people fit in. You have the lowest, you have the highest. People will always fit into this sector. You have the area in which the unskilled can fit in. When you get there, you get maybe to do laborer work, and you are paid well, you live well, you are okay with it. You even send your children to university with that laborer take home wages that you are getting. And then within the same sector, you have a graduate that can be the MD of the same sector. And somebody who is a laborer can think, okay, I want to be MD. You now go to school, get some skills, get some knowledge, and then you get promotion. The system, you get it. When there's security, there's stability, the system will adjust itself.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to read this one from YouTube as well. Lord Stars Deliverance says, if you want to feel Sugar Pro Max, just come to Nigeria. That's so nice. And then the person also says, Nigeria right now can make you feel like Ghana is abroad. Okay. And that's it from the YouTube.
Well, let's get John's concluding thoughts as well. John, your concluding thoughts.
Thank you very much, Moses. I think I want to remind this administration that if they're really serious, let me say it in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's voice. When you talk about security, employ 5 million soldiers. What will they eat? Agbado, come. Now he's the president. I think the president should remember what he said. Now let him employ the 5 million youths into Nigerian military. And let's boost the security of Nigeria as a whole. And on that note, Moses, God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria indeed. Thank you very much, John Akerele and Lawale Kunda. You're both public affairs commentators. We do appreciate you for your time. Well, God bless Nigeria. The president has asked that Nigerians should pray for Nigeria, and in as much as the suffering might be, a little bit tough on the people, but we should still endeavor to speak positively about the country, because what we say with our mouth goes a long way. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking business.